Down here's the warnings. The Unreadables probably says something like, it's just pure coincidence that this comes out at the same time as Mattel's Jurassic World line. Trying to cash in on those sweet, sweet dinosaur dollars. This is me rubbing my hands. I'm not in front of the camera. Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Tonight I'm taking a look at the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Dewback. And it's always reviews like this that remind me that I need to get a bigger review space. But I'm going to try my best because I want to get this open. I've been waiting for this thing for a while. When they revealed this at San Diego last year, I was like, oh, ooh, Dewback. Because I'm a sucker for the beasts. Yeah, the ships are cool, but it's stuff like this. Stuff with a little bit of personality. That's what I like in this line. You know, besides the main characters. I want all the creatures. Now, looking at the package, this big-ass box, we're not going to look at it very long because this is uncomfortable. Pretty drawing, window showing the Sandtrooper. On the end, it's number 4 after the TIE Fighter and the 2 speeders. On the back, you get a bio, pretty promotional shot. Down here's the warnings, the Unreadables. On the other side, pretty drawn picture of the Sandtrooper. Top, some Dewback schematics. And then on the bottom, a bunch of legalese. But I'm gonna get this open and see how much shelf space I have to free up for this big bastard. Actually, pulling the tray out, I thought maybe you'd have to do some assembly to the Dewback. I guess you gotta put the saddle on. But it's just strapped to the back. In fact, you have this empty space right here. What's behind the actual trooper? Is there... Oh. Yeah, nothing. The box could have been a little bit smaller. I don't know. And there we go, all out of the package, and I really, really love this thing. It's not as dynamic as I thought it'd be, but that goes back to the actual design, not the toy. Looking at the sculpt of the Dewback, oh, something to look at all over here, which makes sense. It's a reptile type creature, it's gonna have scales all over the place, but I didn't know there was like almost a fur or feathers or something running along the spine. But it has wrinkles where I feel like a lizard like this should, you know, around the neck, around the tail, where a lot of movement is present. And then the shaping of the piece itself, it's just straight up Dewback. I know we've seen different versions in toy form. Some are more snub-nosed, some are longer, some are even more reptilian, but this, it's really hard to describe. It's just what I picture as a Dewback in my head, made into plastic form. And then with the paints, they did a good job of transitioning between several different colors, but I feel like it could be a little bit more detailed here. I know it probably wasn't like that in the movie, but I would have liked them to define the fur on the back a little bit more. Don't get me wrong, there's some effort here, and I'm not expecting customizer type quality. Could it be better? Yeah, but mass market toy. It's to be expected. And then for the Sandtrooper, this is essentially the same Sandtrooper we've gotten twice before. We have a black pauldron, we have an orange pauldron, now we have a gray pauldron. The gray pauldron is the only difference along with the weathering to the figure itself. Now with the Dewback, one of the things you have to remember, now it won't come off. When I first got out of the package and I put the saddle on it, I'd want to pick it up. It feels like that's a handle right there. So I'd pick it up here and the saddle would pop off until I finally realized there's clips and you got to push really hard. Well, not really hard, but make sure you push it really hard to secure the saddle on. And something just to point out, just because it stuck out at me, there's one screw hole here that's nicely hidden by the saddle, but it's odd that they put the one screw hole there and there's no other screw holes over the whole thing. Now, as far as problems go, there's a few joints that are really, really tight. They got huge detents in them. And then there's a few joints that are kind of loose, but they're toes, so it's not a huge deal there. When you put it down, it's gonna flatten out. And there's kind of a learning curve to the articulation. Yes, they packed in as much as they could here, but you kind of got to work with it if you want to get it into a flat stance or a running stance, walking, whatever you want to do. It's not difficult, it's not impossible, but I'm just saying, throwing that out there. And then just because of the design itself, the articulation is good for what it is, but you're not going to be having him look back or anything. And that's what I mean by dynamic. And then on the Sandtrooper, I like the Sandtrooper sculpt. I'm completely good with it. But I feel like on this one, the weathering isn't as integrated as the other two Sandtroopers. Just taking a look at the orange pauldron, you can see that the dirt, the grime, it's widespread. It looks like he's been in the desert. This one, a little bit more contained, almost like something was thrown at him, or, you know, he's on... Well, I guess this could be a newbie trooper. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's different. It caught me off guard, but as I'm sitting here looking at them, the more good I am with it. But I can't get it out of my head that, you know, something was thrown at him. Why does Jimmy get to ride the Dewback all the time? Here we are, day in, day out, on the ground, sand in our dark side, 24/7. He's up there, mostly clean. I got an idea. Grab that Dewback shit. Hey, Jimmy! What? Not cool, guys. Not cool. Going over articulation right off the bat, you can see when you close the jaw, it looks nicely closed. I mean, it doesn't look like there's anything there, really. But the jaw is articulated. You can open it up, and then inside, the tongue is articulated too. There's some sort of ball joint in the neck. You can look, well, not up, but straight, down. You have, this is really hard to do. Side. So pretty good range of motion all the way around. You have swivel at the shoulder. You have swivel at the shoulder, or hip. I guess these are all called legs, so there's no elbows to look at. Swivel here, hinge and swivel here, out. Some of these are really tough to move. You can go all the way, then all the way that way. Hinge and swivel at the ankle, back, and then forward facing pin for rocker. Same thing on the back legs. And then for the tail, you get up, down, side, all around. Sandtrooper, old figure, but real quick. Ball going up into the head with a hinge in the neck, up, down, a little bit of tilt, swivel. Because of the shoulder armor, you can't really get the arms up really high. Swivel at the bicep, double elbow. Doesn't get up really far because of the armor. Hinge and swivel at the wrist. Right one with the trigger finger is up and down. Ball joint in the torso. Hips go out about this far, which you would think would be screwbally with this set, but it actually works. We'll get to that. Forward, back, swivel at the thigh. Double knee comes most of the way up. Ankle hinge, back, forward, and then forward facing pin for rocker. Like I said, you would think it would be hindered to put on the Dewback, but it actually goes on all the way. If you do some rotation, you do some bendy bends, it gets around there, and he looks actually comfortable on the Dewback. Sure, he's floating just a little bit, but it's a plastic body. For accessories, the Sandtrooper comes with his backpack. This is reuse again. We've seen this. The shoulder pouches are attached to this, so you put the backpack on, it gets those Sandtrooper pouches in the right place. And that's just a peg. Plugs into the hole in his back. He comes with this rifle. Again, we've seen this a couple times. I think we just got it with Forlom again. And then for the new accessory, he comes with the Dewback prod. And it's simply just a rod with a cap on one end and then a little decoration on the other. And he can hold that in his hand fairly nice. And you can see how big it is. Not bad. For comparison, here's the Dewback with the land speeder. I know it's not a great comparison, but if you have the land speeder, this gives you an idea of how big it is. And then here it is with the Wampa. Again, good size. In fact, comparing it with the movie, I feel like the Hasbro Dewback may be a little bit small, but not too much. I mean, I feel like they do this on purpose to make it easier to put into displays, maybe. I don't think it's an evil plot where it's like, we will save millions of dollars by using less plastic here. Sure, there's budget stuff, but really the size difference is insignificant next to the power of the Force. And then here's the Sandtrooper with the previous two Sandtroopers, and now that I'm looking at it, and I've sat with it, I kind of bitched about the weathering, but I kind of like it. It's a little bit more prominent. And different's not bad. It just adds to the shelf. And then here's the Sandtrooper with Gus. You ever had Dewback stew? Little gamey, but not bad. I'd never eat Theodore. So at the end of the day, I'm super happy. I've been trying to find a Dewback since we got the first 6-inch Sandtrooper. And there's various versions, 12-inch, 3 3/8. There's some custom ones, but I'm happy to just be able to go to Walmart, buy this, have it damn near accurate, and put it on the shelf. Can't beat that. Sure, I'm sitting here thinking about giving the Dewback a paint job just to bring out a little bit more of that detail, but my lazy ass won't get around to that for years. So as is, this is going on the shelf. I'm completely good with the way it looks right here. Most people looking at it like the speeders just went on clearance right after they were released, but I feel like this is kind of an army builder. I don't have the room. I don't want to spend the money, but I feel like I need another one at least. Now, I actually had to get this pulled out of the back last Friday. I thought it was Wookiee weekend or whatever it was, but Walmart was still setting their shelves, and in fact, on the planogram, it said that the week of whatever this week is, was the week that they're supposed to put them out on the shelf. So maybe this weekend? I went by a Walmart the other night and they actually had them out on the shelf. So it's a crapshoot. They're either out there or you have to ask to get them pulled. There is a street date on the box, but it was last week. But if you have a chance to get one of these, go ahead and grab it. It's a fun piece. It definitely makes me want a Bantha though. We have sand people, nothing for them to ride. So if you like the review, comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the Fwoosh. Yeah, gotta have a bantha to reenact this scene. This may be my favorite scene in the movie. This guy runs across, jumps on the bantha, and it's just, yeah, let's go, we gotta catch this speeding land speeder. This dude just turns and keeps running and is outpacing the bantha. They ain't catching shit on a bantha, and I think that's why I love it.